So Marvel had a big week.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that stuff personally. But...
Marvel had a big week.
Aside from the big announcement in the movie, aside from the big announcement of Doom in the movie, what else?
That's the
happened?
big.
Those are the two big things, right?
That's the big thing that happened coming out of San Diego Comic-Con was that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doom. I don't know if he's going to be in the Fantastic Four movie, but I know he is going to be in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
How are they going to pull this off with him doing 11 years of Tony Stark?
Alternate universe.
Fits.
It doesn't
exactly.
It doesn't matter
fits.
though.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. The Tony Stark, the genius goes bad and he's Von Doom. It works so well.
Well, the interesting thing about it is I'm
fits.
surprised that they announced it and didn't just keep it a secret, because that
So
would have
am
been
I.
more of a shock if you're like,
Did they?
what?
Do you think they're going to keep him as Tony Stark in another universe that just turns bad?
Maybe.
Yes.
Because that would make sense.
But it's gonna
He
be.
takes on a
It
persona.
won't be like. It won't be, Stark Industries or whatever it's called. It'll be Doom Industries, blah,
Right.
blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, that'll be the thing, and something happens, and it just completely flips the script, and he's Vaughn. Like, it's amazing. It's an amazing idea.
So yeah, I think I hope they do it well. Because I will say this, I was talking to a friend of mine today about even the Wolverine, the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And I said,
Wait, there's a Deadpool and Wolverine movie?
nope, there's not.
Yeah.
And I said, this movie,
It's not a toned down superhero movie.
definitely not.
No, it's not.
I said the one thing that they did wrong
Unbelievable.
if they did this movie as like a Once Upon a Deadpool style movie, it would be bigger than it is.
Oh yeah, just because it would be PG-13.
Because it would be PG-13, and they lost a big audience by making it rated R. And I mean, I looked it up. There's over 100 F words in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a 2.5-hour movie.
It's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Right, and Wolverine.
You know that going in.
True, but they also gave Wolverine a lot of that. They also gave
A lot of it was him.
They gave a lot of
And-
it to Chris Evans.
Wow.
What?
Oh, Chris Evans?
Yes. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it was all over the place. If they did it more toned down in that sense, because that's the only thing for me that I was like, I would watch this movie over and over and over. I loved this movie aside from the language.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Come again?
I have to say,
This time,
I have to say, I just think that might be your bias and not liking movies with a whole lot of language in it, because
it could be.
Oh my God, Once Upon a Deadpool did not outshine Deadpool 2.
No,
by
it was
any means.
it was the same movie. It was just
No
toned
language.
down.
It was just toned down.
It was just toned down. But what I'm saying is, it
Yeah.
did not outshine the original Deadpool.
No.
Nobody talks about the other the alternate version of Deadpool 2. Like, Deadpool 2 is an amazing movie, and it cleaned up in the box office. And I don't understand. This is going to do the same thing.
Oh,
This is
definitely.
going to do the exact same thing.
Right.
This is going to be a massive, massive deal. I don't know. Okay, so Lee and I had a quick conversation about this off air. And
Very quick.
The subject of
This is before you saw it.
The subject of whether or not this is going to be like canon or self-contained came up. I don't see how any of I don't see how they can't make it canon. I don't see how that cannot happen.
So my
If they're moving in a new direction with Marvel, and they're introducing the X-Men and they're introducing Fantastic Four, they had to find a way to take the spotlight or some of the shine away from Wolverine. And this is a perfect way to do it.
right.
Just have it be a different Wolverine. He's not the same, high intensity, charismatic superhero Wolverine. He's got a little bit of baggage. He really doesn't like a whole lot of people. He's down on his luck. He's going to be depressed. Like, this is perfect.
Well, that's the other big news is they did say that Hugh Jackman is continuing to be Wolverine in the MCU.
Wow.
Of course.
So they're not going to recast that for a while.
No, I didn't say recast.
No,
but
I know.
said like the character has been completely repurposed.
Completely. And it actually makes you want to go back and see the original X-Men animated series along with X-Men 97 because
Yeah.
that's where the suit comes from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my thought and my theory was, I could be completely wrong on this, but this is going to be because of like bringing Elektra back in, bringing Blade, which I thought was awesome, back in, doing
That
all of
was
all these guys just trying to skate
Dude.
uphill. Like, I was like, yes.
Channing Tatum
Blade.
looks exactly the way that the fans depicted him when they were talking about him being fan cast. Like, it looked perfect. And his accent being so garbage, actually
Yeah.
being called out. Who's your dialogue coach? Like, it was
Yeah.
it was great.
But my theory is that this is going to be MCU's answer almost to DC's The Suicide Squad. Is they could almost do an anti-hero
Maybe.
thing grouping together, because that's what this movie was a bunch of anti-heroes aside from Wolverine that came together
True.
and had to fight for a good cause.
True.
I did love his one line where he talks about how Marvel needs to let go of the whole multiverse thing.
Yeah.
I listen.
I loved
whole-
that. I loved that.
I love it, and it pisses me off at the same time. You mean to tell me that there's this much self-awareness in those writing rooms, and there has been for how many years now that it actually made it into a movie? Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's this much self-awareness over there, but it's still been it's been on a decline for a while now. But they're okay.
Well, I think the
Really?
reality is
So
when you
they
talk
knew.
when you talk
They
about
knew.
when you talk about the writing room, do you think that Ryan Reynolds has nothing to do with the writing? I'm pretty sure
of course he
writes
does.
the majority of his lines,
Of
and
course he
that's why
does.
they were allowed. I don't think it's
Right.
about the writing room as much as it's about Ryan Reynolds.
I think he just likes breaking the fourth wall.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, but
more,
it's
more
it's
than
the-
lightly
it's
tapping the
not
fourth
just-
wall. The proposal.
It's
The
not
proposal.
just somebody within Marvel or within Disney. If they don't like something, I'm sure they'll step in and say, "Hey, we're not doing that." For this movie to be allowed to be those lines to be said about what the MCU has been since Endgame was fantastic. And it's just like, okay, so they know,
Yeah.
they know exactly.
The only decent film since Endgame was No Way Home.
Sure.
Until this movie, I mean, good. Like,
Well, Far From Home, No Way Home, they were both good.
well, yes, but I'm saying like the Spider-Man trilogy, the other two did come after Endgame. So,
Yeah.
but I'm saying outside of that, everything else has been kind of like mediocre at best. This movie comes out and I think that they were right. This is going to be put a new spark back in the MCU. You know what? Screw you, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole-
It was good.
No, I'm just-
I mean,
I have to call HR. That's all.
What are you doing? I'm calling HR.
But that's what this movie was. It was a bunch of one-liners that made fun of Disney, made fun of Fox, made fun of the MCU, made fun of the multiverse, made fun of Wolverine, made fun of everybody else. It was everybody's stand-up comedy put into a film with a bunch of fighting, and they had to bring in The Greatest Showman just to put a little cherry on top, along with NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, to let Ryan Reynolds dance to that, and it was perfect. It was perfect.
I've got two questions. Will,
Okay.
do you remember Logan fairly well?
of course.
I thought she only had 2 claws. In this, she had 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll allow it. I'm just saying, like, Chuck remembers 3. I'm like, I don't remember her having 3. I thought she only had 2 little claws that kind of came out on either side. There was not a
I
middle
remember.
claw.
I don't remember, to be
Okay,
honest with
well,
you. I'd have to go back and look at that.
I'm gonna say I'm 85 or more % sure that she only had 2, and I remember that
Okay.
being a distinct thing. But whatever. The other thing is, I understand that we're talking about multiverses and all that stuff, but I thought the whole concept of the TVA was that it existed outside of time and space. So therefore, if we already saw the end of season 2 of Loki, then there shouldn't be a TVA.
Well, there is a TVA.
Loki saved it.
Loki saved the TVA. It's just now.
Where was
It's just
Loki
now
then?
Loki's.
He's the
Well,
tree.
Loki has all the like Loki has all the branches.
But but where's he in comparison to the TVA?
He's holding the
He's
tree.
away. He's away, and he's holding the tree. He's holding time together. He's literally like sitting there doing
Right,
nothing.
so what does the
holding
TVA
strings of
have to
time
do?
together?
If he's got everything
they
under
still
control,
exist.
The
They still
TVA
exist.
that he's just doing what Kane the Conqueror was doing at one point in time, managing it all.
Sure.
well, not Kang. It was the one who remains.
The
Yeah,
one that,
he who
which
remains.
is which is
Oh, whatever. Yeah,
is the
yeah,
same guy.
kinda.
yeah. Well,
Kinda.
Jonathan
So
Majors.
I think the TVA still exists, or maybe this happens before. I don't know. I'm not going to ask those questions right now because right now there's hope. Right now there's absolute hope for the MCU and the direction where they're going. So for a few years now, I've been really skeptical about the whole. Why is my camera doing this to me? I've been really skeptical about everything, like with the TVA and time variance and everything. I thought it was a mistake.
yeah,
Hopefully they use it a little bit more wisely moving forward.
yeah. Did you see that video when they were all pretending to be frozen? And he's like, I can see your fan moving in the background. Come on, guys. It's like, oh, no, it's all right. He's not here, but, you know, I know the numbers. I can finish this up. So I think what we need... And, like, all of them kept doing it and passing it out. And the boss is like, what the heck?
Did you see the one where the guy farts on the video?
yeah.
And they're like, we can see your screen lighting up. He's like, oh, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
There's a lot of them.
No, this
Anyway.
movie is a breathed life back into the MCU.
Well, I mean, the whole idea was that he was what, Marvel Jesus? That's
Yeah.
They say it multiple times. Oh, I'm Marvel Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm the Messiah.
Yeah.
MJ.
And that's MJ if you're nasty. But okay.
Nice Pool was my favorite.
Nice pool.
Nice Pool was my favorite.
Your favorite was the dog. That was your favorite was the dog.
That dog was solely there just so that they could laugh at the face of DC when they made Flash.
Oh, I know.
That was
Okay.
it. That because
Stupid
because the
dog.
dog in the Flash when they slow it down and you see his tongue. This
Yeah.
tongue was like
That tongue was ridiculous.
apparently that dog. I found this out today. That dog was rated the ugliest dog in Europe.
Yes.
And on top of that, Ryan Reynolds had to have some kind of paste in his mouth to allow the dog to lick him.
Yeah.
And he said it was the most disgusting thing he's ever done. Like,
But
It didn't look. You know what? It did not look like he hated it.
no, he did a great job keeping.
He did a
his
fantastic job with that.
did you see him in Van Wilder when his other dog needed a little TLC?
You just need a little TLC.
He just needed a little
Oh,
TLC.
I think I've had these before. Anyway, I mean, we're kind of jumping around talking about this, that, and the other thing. I mean, obviously, all of this is major spoilers. I want to talk about two other things while I'm thinking about it. One, Wesley Snipes. I was over the moon when he stepped in. The only thing
he
that was
looks fantastic.
he looks skinny and
He
unstable.
looks
No.
Skinny and unstable.
I'd say
What?
like the way that I don't know. He I'm not saying he's supposed to be jacked. Dude's like what at this point in his 70s maybe.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there. But he looked great here, but like his body looked a little frail. I'm not trying to rip on him. It's just like
He's 61.
years have gone by and
Wow.
he's not who he was back in what 99. So
he
I
has not been relevant since the 90s. Well,
right. So, but I'm not ripping on it. It's just like wow, like they pulled it off when he was still able to stand and do this role, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But Chuck did mention it a few times, and I was right there with him. Where was his sword?
Yeah, that was my only.
He had like a little machete type thing, and that
I
was
wanted
about
this.
it.
Yeah.
I wanted the Blade sword. But
Right.
here's the thing too:
Yeah.
is they are already talking about a new Blade movie in the MCU. They already have a
With the other
guy
dude, yeah.
slated for it. But then in this movie, he goes, "I'm the only Blade."
Yeah. And I was very happy that they did that.
Are they gonna recast him as
I don't know.
Blade?
Probably not. No.
I guess that's out the window.
But I love that he
No.
used his line.
Oh, the ice. Yeah.
They're all trying to skate uphill, and I'm like, yes, that was direct from the first Blade movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I want to bring that up, and I like that he and Ryan Reynolds worked together in Blade Trinity. And again, Deadpool used a line I've only heard once before. He called somebody a thunder. I'll just leave it there. And that was a line that he used in Blade Trinity when he called somebody. I'm not even gonna get into. Yeah, it was a very Deadpool-esque thing. Like his mouth was dirty in Blade Trinity.
Yeah.
Which I think
What's
was
this? F you?
Sure.
Oh yeah. My hello, my name is That was pretty much how he was introduced, and you're like, whoa, this character's gonna be interesting. And it's like at that point we should have been like, oh, this guy would be a great Deadpool. And sure enough, that's probably what he first thought when he's like, I'm getting into the Marvel. Like, I'd love it if I could be Deadpool. And he did.
I don't think
years
anybody
later.
was thinking about Deadpool back when Trinity came
nobody
out.
else.
No,
but he
come
might.
on.
When
come
he did
on.
X-Men Wolverine and he became Wade
That was
Wilson.
That
Well,
was,
yeah.
that movie was.
We were all
trash.
hoping that would lead to something like this eventually, and it
did.
So here we are, whatever. But the other thing I want to talk about is the best cameo in this movie, which is pretty early on, and I honestly, absolutely, 157% love the layers of reveal of what was going on here. So again, absolute spoilers. We see Chris. We see. We see an arm under a cowl, and we go, ooh, it's blue, it must be Captain America. And then
There was some red and white mixed in with it.
some red and white, yeah. So we see this, and we go, this must be Captain America. Sounds like Chris Evans, and he's talking, and we hear it. But I'm like, but they still didn't show his face. And I'm like, okay, it's interesting that they're basically laying it on thick that it is Captain America.
Okay, hold on. Before you continue, Will, did you expect this reveal?
Did I expect it to be Chris Evans, or did I expect it to be who it was?
Did you expect it to be who it was?
I knew it was Chris Evans though.
Guess who obviously knew who it was supposed to be?
This is what I'm getting at. So what I'm
I don't
saying
see
is,
how.
listen, this is what I'm explaining. This is why I'm getting to it. We see the arm and we go, oh, must be Captain America, is what we all think. And then we hear the voice and we go, oh, but we're still not seeing his face because it's shrouded. I'm like, why is it shrouded? Why didn't they just reveal that and we all know who it is? And of course, you've got Deadpool super giddy, super happy that Captain America is there because we already saw him earlier saluting himself and all that. We get that. Then he starts talking and I'm looking at him and go, you know what? His hair is rather dark for Captain America. Now I know Captain America was blonde and then he was like blonde highlights, not so much super blonde, but that was that. I'm like, okay, well his hair just got dark and dark and dark. Got it. That's fine. And then he stands there and he does the whole thing and he's like, oh, he's going to say it, Avengers. And he goes, flame on. And you go, oh, and it was the best reveal because it was a multi-layered reveal. Because you go, who is that? Oh, it must be him. And then he's still shrouded. And then you see his face and everybody just goes, oh, it's this. And we think, and I remember sitting there for like the next 2 minutes or so before he says flame on going, why did they reveal it like that? Like, it was odd. Like, I'm sitting there waiting, like, why would they give you the hint, wait, still keep him shrouded, and then show his face? It seemed like something else was missing, and that was because it was only part 2 of the reveal. So I knew something else was up. I almost thought maybe it was like Loki in disguise or something. It's not quite Cap.
Did you know Johnny Storm, though?
No, I didn't know Johnny Storm, but I had a feeling it wasn't Cap because of the way that they did the multi-layer reveal.
Yes, but it could have been Cap from a different universe.
Sure.
Because a lot, like all the Deadpools were in this void. You've
Sure.
seen all the Lokis in this void.
Sure.
So it could have been another Cap that just wasn't your average Cap.
Sure. But I knew something was up because of the way that they revealed it. And honestly, when the ultimate reveal came out that he was Johnny Storm, I said, that's amazing. Because I'm like, I don't get it. Oh, that's why it felt weird. Because they were leading up to a deeper reveal.
I have to say, though,
I didn't take it that
gorgeous.
way at all.
Well, I know.
I thought it was a giant joke. This was a giant joke.
It was amazing.
Here's the Human Torch, and now he has no skin. We are doing away with this Fantastic Four nonsense that was out there years ago, and it is over.
Yep.
And don't get your hopes up about Chris Evans coming back to do that. We're not doing it. It's not happening. We're going with Sebastian Stan. That we're moving. That's what's going to happen.
Well,
and
even
that's
better.
It. And that's it.
Sebastian Stan. What do you mean Sebastian Stan? He's the Human Torch? What?
You didn't know that? That was a while ago.
No,
that came out
it's
a while
some other
ago.
dude, I thought. I don't think it was Sebastian Stan. Anyway.
It's funny because the way he died was awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
It
was fantastic.
It was like he's there and then he's gone, and I was
and
like,
now you have no skin, and now you are mush on the
Just a
ground.
pile.
and you see him like
That's
like
it.
muscle and bone, and then he just
Topples.
collapses. And I think so. Come to find out, there was a second after credit scene that we missed.
I tried to look it up, but
Oh,
I didn't see
really?
it.
So there's the
Okay.
one where he rewinds. Let's rewind back and see what actually happens, which
And-
is awesome.
Brilliant.
It was amazing.
Absolutely
So now
brilliant.
it actually takes all of it off of Deadpool and puts it back on him. He actually did say it.
I don't even know what half of that stuff means. I'm just like,
I am
uh,
I am disappointed in one thing though. Is this villain, the girl, Professor X's sister,
yeah. Cassandra.
Yeah.
Charles Xavier's sister,
Yeah.
would make an amazing arcing villain like throughout
Yes.
multiple movies.
She was wasted in this movie.
She was,
Yeah.
I would have seen she could have been like the next Kane the Conqueror type thing where
When I had the same thoughts as you,
Yep.
Chuck. When she first showed up, I was like, oh, what a waste.
Yeah.
What a waste to use. Oh my God. In a Deadpool movie? Like, I don't know.
her powers were amazing. She never washes that hand. I mean, there is so much.
Her powers were fantastic.
Her powers
Yeah.
are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean,
Absolutely wild.
yeah,
Oh
and
my
just,
God.
just to see her, like when you see her hand moving,
Yeah.
it's like even when she's like inside Deadpool's head,
Yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
like he's not dying. He's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, what? Oh, I wish that they defeated her, like in the moment, but didn't like defeat her. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like you won the battle, but not the war type thing. Because
Until the end.
right,
Yeah.
to see more than just Wolverine and Deadpool destroy her.
Yeah.
You know, because they took that, and they also took that straight out of the book of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, the whole two hands.
The whole
and,
holding
you know,
hands, because by himself he would have died, but the two of them together, you know.
Yeah.
But I love. Well, I love that his shirt just immediately singed off, and you just get to see
Of course.
Wolverine.
You
just
see,
like-
Of
you see
course.
Deadpool like leaning
Ooh.
back and like, ooh.
Leaning back, looking at him. Of course. It was
but
fantastic.
the mask, which
It
we can go
was-
back
it
to
was-
say, we got to see the mask, and it was amazing. There's something about the
Yeah.
white eyes.
It did.
Like,
It
if it didn't have the white eyes, it would not have.
looked like two Batmen
It
kissing.
wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, but I love the fact that like Deadpool finally gave us the white eye look, and it looks beautiful on Wolverine. Like the suit kind of looked goofy throughout the movie, but as soon as the mask came on and completed the ensemble, beautiful.
The crazy thing is
Beautiful.
while he's wearing it, you don't notice the back of the mask on his
No,
back.
it was hidden. It wasn't there.
And then he pulls it up, and I was like, oh, two Batmen kissing. Because it does. It looks like two Batmen kissing.
I love that the way that they credit this on IMDb, the Cavalrine.
The Cavalrine.
Oh, come on, Henry Cavill.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that
Yes.
was
Yeah.
brilliant. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I knew that there was going to be a Wolverine that was not Hugh Jackman, and I'm so happy that it was Superman. So happy. It was perfect.
I loved the short.
Perfect.
I loved short Wolverine.
So, yeah.
It should have been Danny
that-
DeVito.
yeah.
It should have been Danny DeVito.
No, he's too old.
No.
No. They've been
No.
they've been talking about it for years. It should have been Danny DeVito, and they should have had a Daniel Radcliffe. Both of them should have been
No.
cameos in it.
Not DeVito. He's too old and too.
Not
I know that,
DeVito.
but that's been a joke forever because he's so short and everything, and Wolverine was a short little Australian dude. Which is funny. It's so funny that in the movies we have an Australian actor not being Australian as Wolverine.
Australian. Did you say Australian?
Australian.
Didn't we already
course.
have this conversation about Australian?
Maybe.
And there are so
So,
many videos of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman again now.
Oh, yeah.
So many videos of these two out there.
Of course.
It's fantastic.
The other thing that I want to bring up is the fight scenes in this movie didn't do it for me.
No.
What?
No.
I'm sorry, what?
Because you know why?
The adamantium
Because
skeleton fight scene?
I miss that. That was different. That was different.
Bye.
I'm talking about Deadpool and Wolverine.
The
like
Honda
the way they were going
Odyssey.
back and
Honda
forth.
Odyssey?
So but it was
What?
it was clearly like. Can I finish?
Yes.
It was clearly like a CG Hugh Jackman thing going on, and I just missed the days of the body double.
The only part that I thought was
The guy
CG
who always has a problem with CG in movies is giving me a
the only part that I saw that in that was really super CG
The 100 Deadpools.
was when they were fighting all the Deadpools.
Yeah.
That was purely 100. Everything was
that
CG
in their
that.
first like back and forth in like the desert area wherever they were, like when they were going back and forth and everything had to be like really fast and really here we go, and it's like okay, and it's like giant CG Hugh Jackman staring right at me, and I'm like it's clearly a computer thing that's going on here that I can't.
I'd
get
have to
into.
revisit.
I would have much preferred there to be like a body double or a stand-in for Hugh Jackman because he's old.
Yes.
I get it. He can't do all those things anymore like he did 20 years ago. I'm fine with that, but I'm just saying like that could have been a little bit better for me. That could have been a little bit better for me.
What were your thoughts on Wolverine like running after him on all fours? I thought that was cool to see.
That was awesome.
that was
It
pretty
was
much
cool
how that
to
started.
see. Yeah.
He actually
It was cool to
he
see.
never did this before, but he did all. You know how like every Spider-Man movie you have to have like the Spider-Man poses when he's jumping, when he's slinging his webs, when he's doing all his things. Hugh Jackman up until this movie never really pulled off any Wolverine stances, and in this, whenever he jumped through a window, you saw him doing his stance with the claws out. He pulled off a lot of those cliche superhero, poses. Like they make fun of in Black Widow, her sister makes fun of her doing the hair
flip, yeah.
and the land.
Yeah.
They did all that with Hugh Jackman in this movie, which I thought, hey, he's never done it before. Yeah, and the Chris Evans thing is he said that he would only come back on if Ryan Reynolds asked him.
He said Ryan is probably the only one who would have gotten me to come back and do this. That's what he said. Not only he wasn't like waiting for Ryan Reynolds to say it. He just said Ryan's probably the only person who could have gotten me to agree to this.
And just for that quick cameo, which I thought was perfect.
I wouldn't even call that was more than a quick cameo.
It was a cameo.
That was a well done cameo because he was in there long enough for you to think he's like, oh, he's in this. Like we're gonna do this now, and then
nope.
That was
no.
crazy. And you just saw her power right there, and she did it like nothing. You're like, oh, she's got more than that.
What? What?
I mean, I'm sure Charles could have done that too. It's just he didn't.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I think she and Charles are equally powerful. It's just that Charles does.
Charles does not have to like touch you though. Like she has to like get up and close and personal.
She didn't
and
have to
what did
touch
she say,
him
get
to do
physical?
that. She
Like,
does say that to get into their mind, yes.
Yeah.
But when she ripped off his skin, she didn't have to touch him. She just did it. She did it
when
from
she-
10 feet away.
When she buried Wolverine and then shot him
That
30
was
feet
cool.
underground.
That was cool.
That
Yeah.
was insane.
Yeah.
that was really cool.
This movie, I clapped in the middle of the film. I stood up at one time and went, "What?" Like I have never.
Oh, we definitely laughed out loud in the theater. Like I didn't care if people like were annoyed. I was just like, I'm enjoying this movie. Like there were parts of it that were just really, really good.
I was shocked. Like I was like, I could have done again. To your point, Will, I think it is my own personal bias. I just don't like the over usage of language, and this was extensive. This was extremely extensive. Like in 20
Excessive.
I know that, but in 25th in Deadpool it was excessive. But you had Deadpool mixed with Logan. combined, so it was doubly
both of them.
extensive.
Well, I mean, the difference is Deadpool was being inappropriate. Wolverine was just being angry,
Right.
You know, and just dropping the F-bomb every.
Well, I loved
every
that
line.
too. He's Mr. PG-13 movies, except for the last one.
Yeah, and he's sitting there drinking rubbing alcohol because it's all he can find. He's just like he is a massive alcoholic. Like he's got an actual real problem here.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I love it. What was
Yep.
it when Gambit's just like he's over here drinking all my liquor, and then he like knocks it out and he goes, huh, and grabs another one and just gets drinking anyway. It's just, I don't know. I thought the chemistry between all the characters was fantastic. There's really nothing bad that I have to say about it. Like
Their
even the
chemistry was amazing. I have to agree with that. They're
like
Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Their chemistry was through the roof.
Well, they're
yeah.
like best friends in real life.
because of this. Well,
Yeah,
you remember when
because of
they
this.
had that X-Men reunion and Ryan Reynolds crashed it on Zoom, and everybody
Yeah.
left except for Hugh, and he's just like, "Hey, buddy."
Well, that's the funny thing is when he did the first Deadpool movie, like even on that bridge, he's making fun of Wolverine. So since then, they've been super close friends for like 10, 12 years now. For
Yeah.
a long time, they've been really close. They actually did an interview where they're talking about how do you have such a good friendship, and Ryan Reynolds goes, it's kind of like being married when you're in Hollywood. You just you put a lot of time into this person, and you just become really, really close friends. And they just rag on each other back and forth, and it's hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I because Logan, when they did Logan, it was Marvel's response at the time to Deadpool, because he's right, all of his movies were all
Yeah.
PG-13.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when they did that, they were like, this was their response to Deadpool. It was only for that reason.
Yeah.
And then they brought these two together.
I love how all of this happened because somebody leaked test footage
Yeah. Of Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Like somebody leaked the test footage, and it's amazing. And
And
we
it was
don't know
good?
who leaked the test. We don't know who leaked the test footage either.
Ryan Reynolds.
I have some guesses. Of course, okay, you ruined the joke, but okay.
Wink, wink.
Of course,
nudge,
it was
nudge, say
Ryan
no more.
Reynolds who leaked it. They asked him on like one of those late night shows, like, yeah, so somebody leaked the test. He's like, yeah, I don't know who did it, and it's like, okay, great, that's perfect.
Did you
It's
see the
perfect.
Did you see the late night show where they were sitting next to each other, and Ryan Reynolds is in a higher chair than Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman's like, "Is your chair higher than mine?" He goes,
No.
"Yeah." He goes, "Well, I'm 6'2" with a really short torso." So Ryan Reynolds gets up and he walks to the front of the stage and he goes, "Can someone give me some little PSA music here?" So you hear this like, and have you ever watch like the commercials with when they talk like the animals that need rescuing, and you hear what's her name singing the song in the background?
Sarah McLachlan?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah.
going off. He goes, sometimes we all have a little of the Hugh Jackman, and he just goes on. And he calls it the STS, like short torso syndrome or something like that. He just goes off on making fun of Hugh Jackman for having a short torso, which I've never thought to pay attention to until this. But I'm like, whatever. No, I thought that this was the best MCU movie since No Way Home. And if you call
maybe,
No Way Home
yeah.
an MCU movie, since it was more Sony than it was.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, even though they were hand in hand, I mean I think that's. Yeah, I would definitely call it an MCU because of its connection to the MCU. I mean, it's completely related.
Yeah.
It had.
I mean, that'd be like calling this movie a Fox movie when it's not a Fox movie. It's an MCU.
it's an
movie.
anti-Fox movie.
It's definitely.
yeah.
Did you see the funeral for Fox in the Void?
Oh my god, it was fantastic. It was like oh my god, it was so Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
they have the thing in the back. Well, the original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
When the Statue of Liberty is buried. Yeah. Yeah.
It was this
Good
movie.
stuff.
This whole movie was amazing. I thought Peter Pool was we all have a Peter.
I hated him.
Have you seen
Sugar Bear.
Have you seen
I
any of
hated
the
him.
Have you seen any of the spoof videos
Spooderman?
of I'm not the hero that they want, but I might be the hero that they need. I'm Spooderman.
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 Wow.
Have you seen
No.
Spooderman? Oh, it's just
Can't say that I have.
But they have Spooder Wolverine, they have Spooder Deadpool, and
Spooderpool.
when Peter Pool came out, it was that like he had his shirt, his costume stuffed to one side, and the fact that they got Ryan Reynolds' wife to play Lady Pool.
Well, no, she just did the
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
I don't think she was. She
saw
was
her
the
name.
actress.
She
I
was
saw
the
her name
actress.
floating around about it.
Oh,
Was
I
she
thought it
really?
said
Was she
somebody
the
else.
actress
I
too?
thought
She was the actress too.
Oh, okay. I thought I read somewhere else it wasn't. Okay.
She was
Wow.
Lady Pool.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
think Baby Pool was fantastic. This movie
Okay.
was ridiculous on
This movie was insane.
so many levels. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was definitely, to Lee's point though, it was definitely not a toned down superhero movie.
Not at all. Not at all.
So,
Not at all.
Nope.
but
But
there's other news of the day.